exciting time with your medical doctors and health professionals. Did you know that DocPalm has produced all new opportunities to chat with your preferred physician for free? Yes, you heard me right. Chat consultation on DocPalm is free. Download DocPalm on Google Play Store and App Store. DocPalm, convenience. DocPalm, your health in your palm. Terms and conditions apply.
My people are balling. Yeah, me no good people, this Commander Messiah. Anytime I dip online, me link up Radio Culture, home of GH Reggae Dancehall. Check it out. Zion train is coming. Jumping out the train, yeah. Check it out. Click, clack, 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 clack.
Radio Culture striving through the sun, striving through the wind, striving through the cold and rain. We keep moving up in life, do the things that right, surviving the onyx and pain. You know, Excel Black comes to Radio Culture. I say, yo, anytime I'm in a gun, I'm tuning into Radio Culture, playing the reggae, dancehall, and the best music. This is Excel Black from Kingston, Jamaica. Big it up. Radio Culture. Drop them tune. Big tune I play. Ja!
One, two, Radio Culture on a sabbatical morning. Yes, indeed. Today is a special day. You know why? It's Empress time today. Empress time. As advertised, we are having a convo with the queens on a salient subject. More time when we talk about Rastafari. A lot of people, not everybody, people are, much awake to the reality these days. But a lot of people just associate Rasta with men. Rasta man, Rasta man, Rasta man. How about the Rasta woman? How does it feel to be a Rasta woman? I cannot tell you because I'm a Rasta man. That's why I've brought the Empresses to tell us how it feels, the trials, the tribulations, and the triumphs, of course, of being a Rasta Empress. In a short while, we'll be joined by three solid Empresses. Very solid Empresses for that matter. I forgot the very, let me add it. Very solid Empresses. I'm talking about one called Empress Safi Naj. And I tell you, solid. We will also be joined by one Empress called Empress Dicta. And last but definitely not the least, we are also going to be joined by the one, the only Empress Sadia. Before we go on with the discussion though, let me drop you one track. This is Papa Wasti, calls this one Oyoba. Dig in. After this one, we'll go with the discussion.
Original Papa Wasti. Time before Munu, you be me about. Why you born in Paul, time and Inca, Yancy Muno, Conson of Boyina. As in it, it's your mom, Munya Samdan, and so Mama, Binti Omuka. Now, try, nothing, no, I say, and in someone would be a rada. Manuado, not Jeniso. I feel so many who say, who promise, Pusia, or your band said to the Biana, no bayadi. I say, every time, radio culture. Yes, punching bag, and Pupo when you are mad. I say, yes, said, I say, yes, when you play like that. I say, every time, radio culture, you're not
Definitely love this one on the word the money reading. Papa Wasti calls it Oye Oba. She's a woman. And that is what we are talking about today. We are talking about the Empresses, as I've said before. Let me go straight on the line and welcome my panel of erudite, intelligent, beautiful, well-cultured, all the good adjectives. Slot that in there and then add Empresses. Let me go on the line right now and speak with my panel. Blessed love, Empress Naj. Empress Naj, blessed love. Hello.
Blessed King, I'm online.
All right, bless. Give thanks. Empress Dicta, blessed love.
Blessed my King.
And Empress Sadia, one love.
One love, let's go.
Wow, let me tell you what. This is the most punctual panel I've ever had. I'm not even lying. You see how women are disciplined? You see how disciplined the Rasta woman is? Huh? This is the most punctual panel I've ever had. Not to say that my other panelists are not punctual, but this particular panel here, I'm so fired up right now. Okay, let's go straight to it. Before we go along, let me have each one of you say a little bit about yourself, so we can place every discussion that we're going to have in context. Let's start with you, Empress Naj.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First and Empress Men and I. Give thanks for having me, Jah beloved. And I'd like to acknowledge my sisters on the panel, Empress Sadia and Empress Dicta. Give thanks.
One love.
So
give thanks.
If I want to talk about myself, I'm just a simple Rasta woman who believes in oneness with nature, oneness with each other, oneness with the entire universe. Every other human being is my brother and my sister, my mother, and my family, no matter where you are on the planet.
Absolutely.
Once you are a living being, you are my family.
Yes. Well spoken.
So I trained as a human resource professional. And I'm in education at the moment. I work with the Ministry of Education.
Fantastic.
And I'm also the Women's Commissioner for the Rastafari Council of Ghana.
Nice.
I'm really a lot. So that's just a bit about myself. Give thanks.
Every time, give thanks. Empress Dicta, little bit about yourself.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Empress Dicta or Benedicta. I'm a Voltarian and I'm a hairdresser by profession and still in the Volta region.
Nice.
Give thanks.
Nice. Empress Sadia, little bit about yourself.
Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Ali Selassie, the first King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah.
Selassie.
My name is Sadia. I live in Texas. I am originally from the northern region of Ghana. I grew up in Accra. I acknowledge Empress Safinaj and Empress Victor. I am currently pursuing a degree in my PhD in psychology and leadership, and I am a counselor and therapist by profession.
Nice. All right, so you see my panel today, nobody is a pushover. None, not one, none of them. All right, so let's start. This time let me start from bottom up, from the last person introduced and come up. And actually, I understand that Empress Naj has to leave us at some point. So actually, let me start with you, just so if you have to leave, then you would have had a good opportunity to at least share a lot of what you have with us. So let me start with you, Empress Naj. Who is a Rasta woman? When we say Rasta woman, who are we talking about?
Give thanks, my Lord. Rasta woman is a woman who believes in her identity as an African woman, a woman who can identify with all other Black women across the universe, across the world, a woman who sees herself as capable in loving and being loved, a woman who is close to nature as possible, a woman who sees no limitations in what she can do to make the world a better place. And if I want to extend it a little bit, a woman who has positive role models so that the person can seek to be more perfect than she is. That is a Rasta woman.
Nice. Empress Sadia, who is a Rasta woman in your estimation?
Is it my turn? Ras.
Yes, Sadia.
Okay. So in addition to Empress Naj, everything she listed, yes, that's a Rasta woman. In my definition, I would like to specifically say a Rasta woman. The word Rasta comes from Rastafari, which is the name of Emperor Haile Selassie the First, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Selassie, aye.
Yeah, Rastafari. So Emperor Haile Selassie, before he was crowned emperor, his prince name was Ras Tafari, which is King Tafari, head creator. So the history of Rastafari is that Marcus Garvey has said, "Look unto Africa, for a king shall be crowned, and the redemption of the Black race is at hand." Right? So the Jamaicans were looking, and they saw the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie in 1930, and he was crowned as King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, where 72 nations, including England and America, came and bowed to the African king. And it made the Africans that were taken from Africa to slavery in the Western world marveled at what they saw. And the Jamaicans in particular celebrated the words of Marcus Garvey, for they had seen what he prophesied and said. So they looked into the Bible and they saw a lot of writings that directed to this event that happened in Ethiopia, especially in Revelations. I haven't read that in a while, so I don't remember those quotations, but we will come to it later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that gave birth to Jamaicans, Bob Marley included, now seeing Emperor Ali as the returned Messiah who is to redeem the black race. And so they started following him as, followers of Emperor Ali Selassie, as followers of Christ. And we must know that Christ is a title. Christ is a title that does certain things, right? To attain the title. So His Majesty had attained the titleship of Christ, the Messiah, to redeem the African race. So followers of Emperor Ali Selassie are Rastafarians, Rastafari, taking upon his princely name. So the Rasta woman is a woman that follows Emperor Ali Selassie as the Messiah. That is the angle that I'm coming to.
Nice. Unfortunately, I noticed that Empress Dicta has dropped on the line. Hopefully, she can join us again. The system is such that if we have to call her again, we have to, drop and, do all of that again. But hopefully, she gets a signal on her end to rejoin, because she has the opportunity to do that without any, she says her network is bothering her, so she'll join when she can. There she is. There you go. All right. Empress Dicta. Right in time, we almost lost you. But who is a Rasta woman in your consideration? Who is a Rasta woman? Oh Lord, I don't even know which network. I don't want to mention no names, but yeah, listen. Anyways, we will go on. We'll go on when she comes. She'll join the discussion. But all right, so. Not too long ago, people used to see, or people used to only speak about Rasta man. Where was the Rasta woman at that time? Empress Naj.
Give thanks, my lord. So the Rasta woman has been there all the time, just sort of in the shadows. So the Rasta men were always in the forefront, but the Rasta women were also supporting effectively in the background. In our case, in Ghana, with the Rastafari Council of Ghana, this issue of the balance, that natural balance of creation, of king and queen, not being seen among us in Ghana, made them revive that part of the constitution of the Rastafari Council of Ghana, which is called the Rastafari Women's Commission.
Nice.
And that is where we come in.
Yeah. And I understand you are the chair of that commission.
Yes, my lord.
Nice. What does the commission do? What are they tasked with?
All right. So the commission is tasked with bringing together every Rasta woman that we can find and who has the ideals or the qualities to follow in the footsteps of Her Royal Highness Empress Menen Asfaw. She was highly respected as a symbol of strength, unity, and dignity and compassion. That's Empress Menen. So she is our role model as Rastafari Women's Commission. She established and supported schools, hospitals, community centers, orphanage. Was there for the poor, the needy, and travel we try to follow in her footsteps, care for the elderly and all that. So all the ideals that Her Royal Highness Empress Menen stood for, we also try in our small way to come together to push that agenda and to make it visible for all to know that in Ghana we have women, Rasta women in Ghana.
Nice. Nice.
Yes. So
Because
we have the highest concentration of Rasta women in Greater Accra, Eastern, Ashanti. They are in the northern part of Ghana. But bringing them that has not been very easy because of logistics, funding, and so on. Everyone, every Rasta woman, everywhere who feels that they have something to offer in this regard is welcome.
Absolutely.
To come on board.
Absolutely.
Because the harvest is plenty.
But the workers are few. Indeed. All right. Give thanks. I see Empress Dick has come back. I was going to go to Empress. Oh my God. Yo. Nah, it's not even funny anymore. Listen, the moment maybe the next time I try to ask a question, I shouldn't mention her name. I should just ask my question. The moment I mention her name, the line drops. Anyhow, Sadia, let me ask this question this way. Some people are associated to Rastafari through their relationship to, say, a Rasta man. And then there are also some empresses who cited Jah by themselves. Maybe before they connected with another Rasta man or before they connected with whoever, but on their own. I hope you get the question I'm asking. Some empresses that I know may be, okay, my husband is, or my king man is Ras. So, that makes me a Rasta woman. And then there's also a constituency that is like, I cite Jah myself and I'm a Rasta woman. Speak to that for me, Empress.
Okay. So what you're saying is very true. So in Ghana particularly, right? I would not be able to address that for the outer world outside of Ghana, but I saw Rastafari in Ghana. Yeah. So this is how I see it. The Rasta man was in the forefront. The man was, that first of all, we are identified by the wearing of dreadlocks.
Yep.
And through our indoctrination, we were made to believe that dreadlocks was an evil
negative
hairstyle.
Yes.
It had all the negative connotations. And in addition to being a pagan or pagan worship or demonic hairstyle, that's the history of the dreadlocks in Ghana. And so it was the traditional priests and priestesses that wore that hairstyle, which colonialism had come to brand it as evil. And we had shunned that. So we used to perm our hair and wear, the Western hairstyles as the symbol of beauty and the symbol of civilization and enlightenment. So it was a Rasta man that saw the need to go back into wearing the dreadlocks, which, like I said, we began to search the Bible to see our own identity inside the Bible. Especially when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 8, the story of creation. It says, in Ethiopia, where the Nile flows, that's the creation. So God created a garden, which is Africa, and the east of Eden, east of that garden, God called it Eden, and He put the first man, and where the Nile flows, and He calls it Ethiopia, right? So because we didn't read the Bible and we left the interpretation of the Bible to some people to read it and tell us what was going on, we were deceived.
Yep.
And we were deceived about our identity, especially as Africans, that we were cursed, that we were made to serve others as carriers of water and hewers of wood, or whatever the word was.
Yep.
So our skin color and our hairstyles, our culture and identity was branded evil. So Africans, especially Ghanaians, have shunned from everything. That's bleaching of the skin and all these things have come. But the Rasta man looked and saw Numbers chapter 6, and whoever wants to dedicate himself unto the Lord shall let the locks of his hair grow and shall throw the comb away. No razor shall come upon his head, right? So the Rasta man saw that and realized, this is actually a divine and holy hairstyle, which Jesus himself wore the hairstyle of dreadlocks, and he was named as Jesus of Nazareth. Nazareth in the Bible in those days was a town where if you took the Nazarene vow, which is the dreadlocks vow that I just read, number 6, if you took that vow to separate yourself unto God, then you must not cut your hair and let the locks of your hair grow. And those people they lived in a town called Nazareth. So Jesus came from there. That's why they called him Jesus of Nazareth. Anyway, so the Rasta man in Ghana started wearing the dreadlocks, right? And so he was more in the forefront as Rasta man. So, well, Rasta man must have a woman, isn't it?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Then the Rasta man will have his woman and maybe educate her, and then she will also get the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding to start also wearing her hair. So in that vein, a lot of women started also embracing the dreadlocks and the philosophy. Some just embraced the culture of wearing the dreadlocks without the being a disciple or a follower of Emperor Haile Selassie, and others embraced both. And then there was some of us that just I didn't come into Rastafari on my own. I saw the light from a man. A man I was dating that didn't have dreadlocks. Educated me about Bob Marley, the culture, and everything. And so then I started reading, since I'm a reader. And then there was a brethren that used to write for one of the newspapers. He had a column that he wrote about Rastafari. So when I was reading that and I realized, oh, okay, so this is the culture. Then I came across 2 brethren. Raswiro is one of them. So I'll just mention Raswiro. Yeah, they were in my neighborhood. And at that time, if you had seen my weave, my perm weave hair straight down. So yes, they did the education. They sat down and they educated me about my identity as a woman, as a Black woman, and how I must present myself. And so yes, I looked in the Bible. What they were saying made sense. It checked everything. And so the next day, that weave was gone. I cut all every chemical out of my hair, and I started growing my own natural hair. And the rest is history. But the spirit of Rastafari came into my heart, and I read about His Imperial Majesty, and I saw everything he had done, including Empress Menin, who is the wife of Emperor Haile Selassie. And then that's it. So now I embrace the teachings of Rastafari, not because a man had told me, but that was how I saw the light.
Nice.
So there are people that came into the culture both ways. But because, we are patrilineal, if that's the right way, right? And the Rasta man was more in the forefront. Even when they see me in Ghana with my dreadlocks, they still call me Rasta man instead of Rasta woman.
How?
Understand that?
Anyway, wow. All right. Let's dig a little deeper into the conversation. There's a lot of and you just made reference to it, Sadia, but there's a lot of people who wear the locks for fashion, right? Back in the day, even the men were hounded for wearing dreadlocks. Today, it's more fashionable to wear dreadlocks. So you see a lot of women adapting to that hairstyle. Even some of them are doing the fake ones and stuff, but there are women who may not necessarily even identify with the Rastafari, culture, but at least growing their natural hair, wearing locks, wearing their natural hair in different ways. Empress Naj, have you seen this, and how do you feel about it?
Yes, I have seen it, but there is a difference. There is a difference because I faced a lot of challenges when I'm working in the public sector, and I have my long natural hair always put up in a bun. Never had any issues. As soon as I locked, there were any issues.
Same hair.
It's a complete package. It's a complete package. There were people on the staff who had their hair, natural hair, locked, but theirs was fashion. There are other things that go with it that make you see that this is different.
Yeah.
And they know. When they see you, they know.
Yep.
They see the difference.
I believe so. I don't think it's just about the hair. It's about the aura around you. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you dress. Yes. Nice.
Yes.
Now, before we lose her again, let's have Empress Dicta chime in this time. Empress.
All right.
Back in the day.
Yes, my king.
Yes, back in the day, you know, the Rastafari outlook, like to wear locks, to wear your red, gold, and green, to, you know, all of that used to be something that carried a certain negative, if you will, not negative to us, of course, but the society saw it as negative. If I'll give you a personal example, as a Rasta man, back in the day when Osama bin Laden did his thing, you know, I was walking down the road one day with my long beard, everything, my turban, all regal and everything. What do I even have in common with Osama bin Laden except a beard, you know? And then some mate guy in some trotro pops his head out and shouts, "Hey, Osama bin Laden!" And then everybody bursts out laughing. We enjoyed a lot of that. Did you, Empresses, also go through that type of thing? Or society was a bit more sensible with you?
Yes. Even today, up to today, in my family, some of them stand against it a whole lot. And I just have to take it cool with them that the right time, they will understand it or they will know what is it. And even people that I'm staying around with also do complain. They have a lot. They talk about it, a whole lot of challenges that, in fact, but with time, they will come and understand it or be okay with it. So that is it.
Okay, so Empress Nudge just mentioned challenges that she has, you know, or she had working in the public sector. You are not working in the public sector. You are a business person. You have your own business. Do you also face problems connected to your culture, your outlook, your identity as Rastafari, as a Rasta woman in your area of work?
Yes, please. First, I am a Catholic. I was born a Catholic. So when I started this locking stuff, sometimes put on my red, gold, green cap to church. I do wear it to things, and like I've heard a lot. People will match my people to the house. What is happening to your daughter? This and that. But for me, I know what I'm doing, so I don't mind it. So I don't buy what they are saying. I faced a lot, sometimes a whole lot. They think we carry the dreadlocks, smokes, and they think the herbs is a bad thing. So anytime they see a woman with the dreadlocks and everything, they see us as bad people in my community. That is in my community where I am now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of challenges. It's a lot. So I even try to convince some people that no, this is the right thing. This is the right thing to do. But they think maybe they are not even ready to listen to what I'm trying to say. So some people have to bring the Bible. We quote from the Bible. They see this, they see that. They say, okay, I'm good. Like we are good to go. So it's only some of them that understand or understood what is happening or what I'm doing. So I've been facing a lot. As for the challenges, I've been facing it. Certain things are there. I can't do it outside. I have to do it a whole lot. So there are more challenges in every way, in every sector.
Interesting. Now let's talk about something that is almost taboo to Ghana, right? Last week I was talking to one politician about legalizing marijuana, for instance. Now, when back in the day, and I don't know if I think it's still the case because I was in Ghana recently and I was pulled out of a taxi by a policeman who completely confused. He didn't even know what he was looking for. But the moment he saw a Rasta man, alarm bells went off in his head. right? There was the driver and 3 other people in the taxi. My brother, my producer, myself. He didn't see none of these people. He just pulled me out of the taxi.
Yes.
What did he want?
Yes.
I did not even know. Eventually, I had a drink. He pours the drink on his hand and smells it. I'm like, sir, what are you looking for? He says, oh, sometimes the people mix the weed in the drink. Stupid, period. Extremely stupid. But this is what we used to go through. And from my recent visit, which is less than a year ago, it looks as if that is still the case. Do the Empresses go through that too? Do you go through that type of humiliation? Are policemen,
Yes.
people stupid enough to stop you on the road and harass you for ganja? Empress Nard.
Yes, I have. And that was last year. My uncle was admitted at one of the hospitals nearby village. So I was supposed to go there and come back. On my way, I was putting on my cap. I was sitting at the front. The police asked I alone to come out from the car.
Wow.
Yes. So I was asking him, what is the problem? He was like, what is the problem? So it got to a time that I was tired to have to call the CID man or the man on duty and tell him that, what's the problem? I'm from hospital going home. So what is it that your men were, I don't know what they want from me at that point. I don't know if because of the cap or what. I don't know. I just don't know.
Do you go through the same thing, Empress Nard? Have you ever had any experience at all like that?
Personally, it is comments from the police. Anytime they see me, oh, Rasta woman, they have some funny things that they'll say.
Yeah.
But as to searching, nobody search, no. But every time I'm with my brothers, my brethren carrying locks, they will always search them.
See?
To the extent that a nephew of mine, I was working with him. He even didn't have locks, but just because I am a Rasta woman,
wow,
and I'm working with this group, they searched him and they found a single razor in his pocket. They extorted 100 Ghana cedis.
Oh my good Lord.
Yes, because if I didn't pay, they were going to lock him up for 48 hours.
You see?
We were already in the weekend, so that would mean to drag into Monday.
Yeah. And that's the nonsense, because otherwise, how is carrying a sheet of paper a crime?
It doesn't make sense at all.
In a day and age where, from where I live right now, I can drive less than 15 minutes and walk into a store and legally buy marijuana. Sadia, tell us about this. Tell us about your experience about this, both at home and abroad. And let's find the dichotomy. What have you been through any such situations? And then how do you compare that with where you live right now?
That's crazy for the herb. In my own personal experiences, I have not, knock on wood, and by the grace of God, RASTAFARI, I personally have not been harassed. I've had rather positive encounters. And how I say that is that when the police see me, they give me funds and we laugh and they want me to educate us about this and that and that. So when we talk about it, it's rather an educational experience. And I enlighten them. There are some that are very open-minded and they want to learn. So we have a discussion and I enlighten them. Over here, I have had experiences in the classroom, during my studies, especially I took a class called alternative medicine. And in my alternative medicine classes, we talk about herbs, using herbs to cure, instead of the conventional ways. And I have advocated for marijuana. It's an herb. And I realized the class will be divided. There will be some that are fiercely opposed and bringing their reasons why it's not good. And then to my surprise and amazement, there's another half that are on my side that are fiercely in agreement. And some will quote medical doctors that have written books advocating for the use of marijuana. And our professors will be open-minded. So one thing I've noticed about schools in the United States, that, you know, they're very, very open-minded to learn things. So that is my positive experiences with it. Like people want to learn what's going on.
I see. Okay.
So there's a dialogue about it.
All right. Let's dig even deeper. Let's talk about human rights, which is an extension of what we are just talking about. But you remember recently a young boy called Tyrone Magai. Tyrone is the son of Terrio Magai. Now, Tyrone is such a brilliant young man that he passed his exams with flying colors and decided that he wanted to go to Achimota School. It became a whole big issue around Ghana because Achimota School thought that they would not let in a kid purely on the basis of his hairstyle. Meanwhile, Achimota School had kids with parents from India and Europe and other places who had long hair. Let's talk about that. Do you think that we are not doing enough to let people know that, to put it in tree, Yeniabre? Because how dare anybody suggest that my boy has passed his exam, but you are going to deny him education and affect his future because of your warped up thinking? I want reactions from all of you. Let's start with Empress Dicta. Let's make it brief, though. We have a few questions that I want us to finish before the end of the show. Oh Lord, Empress Dicta dropped again.
Running away, my.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk to you. Empress, now, did you say you had to leave?
Yes, I have to leave in a second.
Oh, okay. So please tackle this for us before you go, please.
I could touch on Tyrone.
Yes.
So in Tyrone's case, I was at the Human Rights Court in support of the parents when the case was going on a number of times, and it was really grueling for the family of that boy and the boy himself. But he was confident that he would pull through and succeed. Now, we are really not doing enough. The Rastafari community in Ghana has to rise up. We need to rise up, and we all like peace. We all preach peace and everything, peace and love, right? But we need to rise up and educate and sensitize, make them aware. Because those in authority think they are doing what they are supposed to do just because they are still holding on to the colonial system of education, which disadvantages the Ghanaian, but gives advantage or favor to the foreigner.
Yes.
And it must change. But unfortunately, to effect that change, it's not just a matter of talking, dialogue. Rasta has its militancy wing or arm. I think we have to explore all the avenues, because I know we have talked and talked and talked in the past, but it's not getting anywhere. So we have to really rise up, create that awareness. We started a few years back because our children in the public schools were being turned away.
Yeah.
That no, you have dreadlocks. You cannot be enrolled in the public system, school system. So your parents have to either shave you or send you to a private school where you have to pay more.
Yeah. Yeah.
We tried dialogue. It didn't help. So the situation still stands. I think another thing we have to look at is establishing Rastafari schools.
Yes.
So that from the start, from KG till at least the senior high level, they will be covered. Or we also have to promote homeschooling for the Rastafari.
Yes.
For the Rastafari community, we need to encourage homeschooling as well.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Sweet words, Empress Naj. And I understand you have to leave, so we'll say thank you very much to you for now. And hopefully we can bring you back at some time to talk about other issues. Thank you so much. Bless you, Lord.
Blessed Lord.
Okay. All right. But we're still here with Empresaria and Empress Dicta. So let me have your reaction on that, Empresaria. Our kids in the schools being denied their place because of their hairstyle. Do you think Rasta is doing enough to address that type of situation? Because this is you see, of all the other things that they chuck at Rasta, this is the one thing that is very, very detrimental to us because it's the future of our children, right? Now, they're determining how your children should grow up, what type of education they should have, or trim them. That's why it's so dear to my heart. Take it up for me, Empresaria.
At Kwesi, that was a very disheartening situation that happened, for the educational system to have treated that case that way. Are we doing enough? No, we are not doing enough at all. I think what Rastafari community or leadership should do is to engage the school principals or school officials, administration in dialogue. We should educate them. We should organize. We should, have forum with the leadership, with the Ministry of Education. We should engage them so we can teach them what. And the sad thing is that right now, I think a lot of people have dreadlocks. Even some of these leaders, their children and their wives have dreadlocks. But still, it's just a colonial mindset.
Yes.
The colonialism is a difficult concept,
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, why should a child come to school with this? So it's colonial rules of you must look this way. A girl or a boy should not have long hair and all those things. And so that was just what the problem was. But education could have changed it. And this thing happens also here in the United States where, they try to deny students with their dreadlocks or braids coming into the school. So that's why the Crown Act was passed in the United States Constitution, right? If I'm right, the Crown Act was to protect African American students from being discriminated upon in the schools. So Rastafari community can do something like that, can go to parliament. We don't exercise our civil rights.
Yeah.
Go to parliament and make a case in parliament. And then have a bill and engage with the Ministry of Education. So in that vein, we are not doing enough. Even do public education on the radios and television stations, speak and educate the people so that people will understand. I personally experienced such discrimination when I was at Legon. I was at Legon, I had dreadlocks. And I was at the grammar school. So when we were in the classroom and we were interacting, I just realized that one of the lady professors was an assistant.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay. Names must not be mentioned, but I'm glad.
Yeah.
You and I are mates. We came into the school the same time. We started our dreadlocks journey the same time, right?
Yes. You actually started before me, to be honest with you.
I started before you, yeah. Yes. I started before you, but yeah, but you started too around
the same time. Yes, around the same time.
Yeah. So anyway, the lady would push me, actually, like physically push me, and was so mean and nasty to me. And it was all because of my dreadlocks. It was unspoken. I don't remember if she spoke something. So me too, with my militancy, I was like, no way, you can't treat me like that, So I went to the vice chancellor's house, actually, one evening. And this vice chancellor, if that was her correct position, I don't remember. She was a lady. Vice chancellor. So I went to her residence one evening around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.
Militancy.
And she gave me that nonsense. Pardon?
That's a militancy. That's the militancy we need.
I charged and I begged. So I charged to that lady's house because that's top authority. And she was a lady. And she welcomed me. I mean, Rasquesi was so warming, heartwarming. The way the lady welcomed me, I knocked on the door with my dreadlocks. The dreadlocks were thick and grown, and she welcomed me with smiles. She said, "Come in." And she was relaxing with her husband in the living room, and they both welcomed me, and I sat down. And I told her my encounter. I said, "There's a professor that's been hostile to me in the classroom because of my dreadlocks, and I don't appreciate it, and I don't think that is right, and I'm reporting it." So I came to her for her to advise me what to do, and the lady said, "Oh, if that's what is happening, then that's not right, and she will address it." She asked for the professor's name, and I gave it to her. Asked Quincy, that was it. I didn't hear anything of it. There wasn't a meeting called or anything to know that it was addressed. But what I know is that the lady stopped harassing me, so I knew it was addressed.
I think she left you and brought it on me. I think that's what. This is the same woman. This is the same woman that told me that her son is called Quincy. So when she sees me in dreadlocks, it reminds her of some BS like that, you know. But yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. But like you said, we won't mention any names. She became a friend though, really. Later on, you know, I think that through how we lived on campus, through how they eventually saw how we carried ourselves and everything, they came to give us much more respect. So she actually became a friend, you know, like not friend as in friend, but like she became much less hostile to me, you know. And she used to use me as an example to the subsequent groups of students that came. She would refer to me and stuff like that. But anyhow, yes, I know what you're talking about. Empress Dicta, what's your take on that? Terry Umaga, we're actually talking about the Achimota event, right? In general terms, education and stuff.
You know, our let me say, our people, the perception they have is when you are carrying dreadlocks, that means you are a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
That is in our community or in our locality here. So anybody with the dread, they think that person cannot do better in any way. That's how they classify the people carrying the locks.
Mm-hmm.
But let me give you an example. When that thing happened to that guy, I was in the house when a journalist called me. I'm in the house, and he said, "Okay, I am a member of this Rastafari and so what is my perception? Are you concerned about the guy's hair, or you are concerning about the brain or what he has in mind to achieve in future?"
Yes.
That's what I asked the guy. Yeah. Are you concentrating on the dreadlocks or the brain the guy has? The
brain that earned him the points, the marks to qualify for the school. Yes. And you know something, Empress?
So he was like, no. So I told him that I didn't mean that me carrying these locks, I have nothing to offer to the society or what.
You know the funny thing too. Eventually, after the matter went to court and everything, and Tyrone was admitted in the school, guess what? He was selected to join their national science and maths quiz team. I'm so proud of that youth, Empress. I am so proud of that youth. He proved everybody wrong. All the people talking nonsense in Ghana. And it will shock you that I'm on a platform, on a WhatsApp platform with people from University of Ghana and all of that, right? And the kind of commentary they will make about that type of thing. But this youth proved them all wrong. Yes. He made it straight to the national side. That team is only about 4 or 5 people in the team. He's telling everybody that he's one of the 5 most intelligent students on campus. How about that?
Yes. That is it. So I think Rastafari have to do something about this. Go to the palace, my sister said. We have to support one of our own to go to the parliament to speak on our behalf. To let the world know.
Or take Sadia's example.
The world should know
yes.
We are not just...
I'll call this the Sadia example, right? Let us go to... Let's not even demonstrate. Let's go to the source itself. Whoever makes the decision, go to their house if you have to. And tell them, hey, listen, sit up. You know, I am so proud of you, Empress. Seriously. Anyway, let's move on. We have a few minutes left.
All right.
So recently, I saw a video of some guy with dreadlocks, right? Who according to the video that I saw, was trying to kidnap some little girl, right? According to the video, and I don't believe everything I see in this day of Photoshop and video editing, but let's just take it on that surface value. Somebody with dreadlocks, we never know if he's Rasta or not, because dreadlocks these days, like we said, everybody wears dreadlocks. But he had dreads.
It's a fashion, yes.
He has dreads. He was accused of trying to kidnap this girl, and then when they searched his car, allegedly they found guns and some other weapons in the car. So everybody's mind goes to, oh, he was going to harm the girl, because again, according to the video, he was asked if he knew the girl, and he said yes, the girl was her niece, and he was going to drop her at school. But then when they asked the girl said, no, he only gave me a ride. People with dreadlocks are very prone to giving a bad name to races and empresses, right? Because of their outlook, because of the hair and all of that. What do you think we can do about that? Let me start with you, Sadia.
Yeah, education. We just have to keep on educating people on what Rastafari is. Rastafari, you know, when we were there, we did a lot of education.
Yes.
Rastafari was on the radio station at Legon.
Kwame Malcolm. Yes.
A whole lot of Rastas were on the radio. They had radio stations that they did education. I myself went to a program with Kwesi Yanka. He used to have a program on television. So, you know, I was the first Rasta woman in Ghana to appear on the national television to do a show, talk about Rastafari. That show was like a talking point kind of show with religious, various spiritual groups. Yeah. And so we have to be educating. We have to have our radio stations and be talking. We have to have a Rastafari radio station. We have to keep on writing and educating the people about what Rastafari is about, the differences, right? As they say, you don't have to dread to be Rasta, right?
Yes.
It's an inborn conception of the heart. Yes. So we have to educate the people more and more and more. It even has to go into the school curriculum as to what Rastafari is. And we have to differentiate. The fact that somebody has dreadlocks doesn't mean that they are Rasta man. Like I said earlier, with the negative connotation to dreadlocks, and dreadlocks in particular, it's a difference between dreadlocks and Rastafari. Yes. And dreadlocks attracted a negative connotation. When you were speaking Rascrazy, I remembered the first one is they thought mad people, actually. It's mad people. That Yes, it's true. Yes, first of all, that's where all this negativity came from. The major negativity is you are mad, and the second negativity is you are a fetish priest. Fetish priest in quotations, because
so in other words, you are a mad fetish priest.
You are a bad person, you are a cultic person, or you are mad,
you are a crazy person. Yeah.
Or you are cursed, right?
Oh,
so that's where negativity came with. So if you are mad and they see a mad person as, like my sister was saying, somebody that's a bad person or an evil person, you mean no good. You're going to harm people. You're going to rob people. Or you're going to smoke weed and become recalcitrant into the society. So that's how these negativity were attached to the dreadlocks. But right now, even in Ghana, right now, a lot of people have dreadlocks. A lot of public servants and officials have dreadlocks. Yeah. So we have to change the perception. I've seen a lot of African movies where people, gangsters, are smoking weed with dreadlocks,
exactly.
armed robbery and stuff. We have to change that.
It's almost stereotype. Like they would use dreadlocks to identify the bad priest or the bad traditionalist who's trying to kill somebody through juju or something. Or they would use the dreadlocks to identify the armed robber who's trying to harm somebody, right? Never the person who's doing right.
Yes, but we have to also show the positive side. We have college professors that have dreadlocks.
Yes.
We have lawyers that have dreadlocks. We have teachers that have dreadlocks. We have doctors that have dreadlocks. We have a whole lot of good people that have dreadlocks, including the student we just mentioned. That student excelled and that student proves them wrong. And we should even highlight him right now.
Yes,
Let
yes.
the nation see
That's what I think too.
achieved. Now he's representing the school. So that
That's
the
what I
builder
think.
refused becomes the head cornerstone all the time, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Our time is fast running out, but I still have two questions that I want us to address. So let's move on to the next one. We have this thing where Rastafari, let me say, is a symbol for womanhood, period. The Rastafari Empress represents how a woman should carry herself, right? As we say, dress how you want to be addressed. And now when you see any Rasta woman, apart from the hair, which may be tied up in such a way that you may not even be able to tell that it's locks or not, but you see that how they're dressed and how they carry themselves, how they speak and all of that. And then you know that this is a Rasta woman, right? Tell us something about that, Empress Dicta. How do you think Rasta women dressing like that are influencing society? Are we doing good for society? Now, let me give you an example. Some of the women walking around, the shine eye women, so to speak, quote unquote, are beginning to call themselves Empress. I can give you a few examples here right now. But, you know, there's a very famous TV host who calls herself Empress. And I know exactly where that came from. We'll leave that alone. But apart from that, also, we see certain women trying to wrap up their hair, you know, trying to dress a certain way. How much impact do you think the Rastafari woman is having in terms of the positive, you know, representation in Ghana?
Yeah, here in Ghana, what you're supposed to do as a Rasta woman is to differentiate yourself from the ordinary people. You have to show it through your dressing, your appearance. That will say a lot about you. For example, me, when I'm in the house, I leave my hair like that because I know I'm in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm going out, I know how to dress up, maybe scarf my hair, and or maybe even use my cap on it, and then I'm out to town.
Mm-hmm.
You understand it?
Yep.
So as a Rasta woman, you need to carry yourself in such a way that people will differentiate you from the ordinary people. You need to let them know the kind of empress that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know the good from the bad. Let them know. I think my mom say like Ubuano. Wow, when you say like you just wake up, say
you put a lot of value on yourself.
And this no, we don't. I'm not talking about those things. Myself, I don't value makeups or even earrings. So I don't put on those things. I move with my natural beauty.
Nice.
So any of my people, yes, I move with my. I don't like makeups. What? No, I don't like that. I don't appreciate. I don't value those things.
Amazing.
You understand it?
Fantastic. Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
So an empress, if you are truly empress, you don't value those makeups. What? No. Carry yourself. Be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Try and be who you are. Your dressing. Try and then put on something decent for people to see that. No, look at this woman. Yeah, this that.
Nice.
Not for you to stand up, just make up your face. No. You have to at least do a lot about yourself.
Nice.
Carry yourself. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that is it. For me, the way I do myself, you will not see me putting on earrings. Or I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like those things.
All right. Empress Sadia.
It's my natural lifestyle.
Nice. Empress Sadia, how much impact do you think the Rasta woman is making on Ghanaian women? In spite of the fact that they will try to not admit that, this is where we got the influence from, but we all see it for ourselves. How much impact do you think you are making?
You've made a great impact. Now, look, a lot of women in Ghana, like I was saying, have dreadlocks. I for one, a lot of my family members banned me from coming to their homes with my dreadlocks. They say if I don't cut my hair, I shouldn't come to their house again. And I said, fine. Well, I was at the university. I was studying at the university. I was on radio shows. I was on television shows. I was traveling international, so I was living my life. And I had a lot of foreign friends. As you know, Rasco is a lot of my friends, African Americans, England, Jamaica. People adopted me, gave me homes, gave me everything I needed. So if you shun me, and if you outcast me from your house, it's your loss.
It's
because
your own
I
wahala.
was living life. I was living my life. I didn't care about them. Yeah, so how did I? They admired my lifestyle. So later on, they all grew their dreadlocks and started calling me. They tell me that, oh, Sadia, you have always been ahead of your time. So they tell me that I helped them to see the light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. They were beating me and stuff and telling me not to come around them. And now all of them, their mama and their father and their children all have dreadlocks. So yes, we have a great impact. They watch us, they admire us because you see, they say by their fruits you shall know them.
Absolutely.
And yes.
Nice.
I mean, we've done a lot of things for our country. We've gone far and near. I mean, me sitting, I've been to the White House. I went to with my dreadlocks. The day I landed in the United States with long dreadlocks, I gained employment with what do you call it? A congresswoman who took me to the White House to meet Clinton. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yep. They see things I do. So me, I'm Rastafari. We are the highest. We are royalty and the highest talk. If you shine us, Jah will take us up and take us to the highest of the heights.
Absolutely.
So they admire and influence and see that, whoa, these people, wait a minute, what are they doing? And then they see that we're doing great things. So they try to emulate us. They send their children to us eventually to talk to their children. Even I have family members, when their children are misbehaving, they call me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I mean, this is the Rasta man. I'm not trying to usurp the Rasta woman them fans right now, but I used to work in a certain place. I don't want to mention names because it will send direct signals. Everybody will see what I'm talking about. But I used to work in a place where my boss, and there were two of us working there, two Rastas working in the place, and my boss, boss in quotes, I mean the CEO of the company, came to me one day. This was in Kumasi, and his family was in Accra. And he told me, he says, my son is growing locks, and he's very focused, but I'm not too sure what he's all about. So what I want you to do, I want to bring him over here for a few days, and I need you to speak with him, so that he stays on course. I was shocked out of my wits, right? Like normally you hear people like that saying negative stuff about, or even chasing their kids because they are locking. Or locking their hair. But no, he came to me. This is a very open-minded person, though. He's so rest in absolute peace. He passed now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he says to me, my son is locking his hair. I need him to stay focused. So I want him to come and speak with you. I want him to come over to Kumasi and stay here for a few days so he can have the opportunity to speak with you. That is one of the highest points in my life, I have to tell you. Like, I felt so appreciated, right? And it tells me that, in spite of all the negativity, people who really have brains in their head, like the CEO of this company, actually appreciate what we are doing and how we're living, right? Anyways, our time is burnt out. We actually went over a little bit. But before we go, it can't all be negative like that. Let's end on a positive note. What are some of the triumphs that you have experienced being a Rasta woman? Let's take about 2 minutes each to talk about that, and then we wrap up. Let's start with you, Empress Dicta. Empress Dicta.
Yeah, my king.
Yes. So my question is, now we've heard all the negative stuff that we've been through and all of that, but there's also some bright spots, that we've experienced as Rasta people. And you, as a Rasta woman, what are some of the bright spots what are some of the nice things that you remember have happened to you, or that you remember, that you cherish as a Rasta woman?
Yeah, for now, what I can say is I've never experienced any nice thing. So since I became a Rasta woman.
Really? But, nobody has appreciated the way you dressed, anything like that?
Yeah, pardon?
So nobody has even appreciated the way you dress, the way you speak, the way
as for the dressing, they appreciate it. They love the way I am, the way I carry myself naturally. Mm-hmm. They love it. Then they appreciate it a lot. Mm. Yeah, the way I dress, the way I don't. If they invited me for a program, the way I dress, without makeup and like carry myself naturally, people do appreciate it.
But you're
like,
saying
wow,
apart from that,
I haven't seen a woman like that before. Like, I may say most of my colleagues do apply makeups and things, but when they see me, I'm a different person from them. So people do appreciate the way I am. So that's all I can say.
Okay, cool. Empresses, let's examine some triumphs as a Rasta woman.
So many positive experiences. I would say one thing. When I first came to the United States, many years ago, and as soon as I came out of the airport, when I was in the airport, 2 white women came to me. I don't know what they saw. I didn't have red, gold, green, nothing on me. I just had my dreadlocks and my African dress. And these white women, 2 approached me and said, "Oh, we just came from Ethiopia." And I was like, I was blown out of my mind. I said, how did they associate me with Ethiopia? They were so excitedly telling me about their trip to Ethiopia. Anyway, Ethiopia is the headquarters of the Rastafari. Anyway, so, and then I moved out of the airport. When they picked me up, we were running to the car because they parked on the curb at JFK. So, they tow easily. So I was running. Then there were construction guys working. And when they saw me, they all threw their fist up in the air and they were hailing me. I don't remember the words they were saying, but they were really excited. They were giving me so much fun. Then I was in DC one day and I had some friends. They went into the house and they said, they'll be right back. So I was standing on the curb and I was waiting for them. And 3 white men came immaculately dressed. 3 white men. They looked like they were coming from a black tie event. They were in their suits and everything. And when they passed me, I was standing on the roadside. And me, makeup, sometimes I don't do makeup. Sometimes I do makeup. Anyhow I dress, I still get a respect. And so I was standing there, I think I was in a short red dress, but my locks were flowing down to my waist. The white men passed me, and Rasquasi, they formed into a line, and one of them, the first one came and he bowed to me and passed.
Wow.
There were no words, he just bowed. The second one came the same, he bowed. The third one came and bowed, and I was like, what is this going on? I mean, it's a real bow, so the same way they bow to the emperor is the same way they bow to the emperor's disciples. And I want to say this real quick. In Medina, I was working with the brethren on New Road. And a woman passed us and she quickly came to us, ran to us. Excuse me, do you have time? We said yes. She said, oh, please, can you come into our house? My son is one of you. I want to talk to you. So then we were like, okay, no problem. It was around 6 a.m. So we went into the house, beautiful house, gated. They gave us, she was there with her husband, and they gave us a seat and we sat down and they said, you know what? Our son, he's not doing anything with his life right now. We're concerned. Can you advise him for us? He comes to your meetings. That's what the 12 tribes meetings. He comes to your meetings. And he said he went to a teaching school and now he's in the house. He's always in his room. We don't know what he's doing. And we really admire you guys. And the man said he met Emperor Ali Selassie in Ghana. And he was very generous, gave everybody money. The bodyguards and everything. Spoke very highly of Emperor Ali Selassie and said he really admires us, but he's worried. Rasquasi, just like on your point, So he wanted us to advise his son and make sure that he goes on the right path. And then my last point on that, we used to do 12 tribes dances. 12 tribe balls. So every time when we went to that ball, there was a college professor from Legon that would always approach me. The same man. Every time we had a ball, he would approach me. The first time he said, hello, excuse me, can I buy you a drink? And I said, sure, no problem. He said, I want to talk to you. Let me buy you a drink. I said, okay. So he bought me a drink and we were talking. And his reason for wanting to talk to me is that his son is a Rasta man. Rasquasi, just like your experience. He said his son is a Rasta man. He has started growing dreadlocks. And instead of him fighting his son, he wanted to understand his son, why his son was doing what he was doing. So that's why he was coming to our meetings to listen to us so he can understand. And so he had a lot of questions. And I engaged him and answered his questions. And every time he was blown away. So these are some of the nicest things, you know. And like I told the police, everywhere I go, people want to know, what is this about? What is this about? Yes. Can you come and speak at my program? Can you come and, you know, show? So to me, you know, it's a positive thing. You know,
where you are, understood what is it. But in my locality, you can't.
That's the sad part.
Yes, you can, because they always see us bad people. Like the example my king did. He said a Rasta man kidnapped a girl going to kill. Yeah, so they see all the Rastas like that we are bad people or whatever. Always negative things about Rastas.
Very sad. But you know, as racists, right?
It will be difficult for you to at least. I don't know how to put, but those that understand or understood what the Rastafari is, those are the people that when you meet, then they will start like giving you that respect and so on and so forth. But apart from that, they see us as so that is
anyway. But you know, we carry a certain aura, right? We don't see it ourselves, Sadia. And this is in response to when you said you came out of the plane and the people. How did they know you are Rasta and all of that? Listen, we carry a certain aura that we do not see. And I can prove that. Let me tell you.
Yes.
I lost my sister and my grandmother some years ago. So I, cut my locks and started the process of, going through all of that again. During that time, I was also working in an online TV station in New York. I was going to work in a suit, no hair. Suit, no hair. Can you imagine that? And then I walked down the street, and in New York City, of all places, people would see me and say, "Blessed love, Ras. Heal, Ras. Wagwan." I'm like, hold on. So it is something that we ourselves don't see. I think that once you take the Nazarite vow, His Majesty covers you with a certain aura of glory that you may not even see. People see it from a distance. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with dreadlocks, Thank you very much, Empresses. Wow, what a riveting conversation. I feel like we should have this conversation every now and then. It shouldn't be a one-time thing. I think every now and then we should put our Empresses together and choose a subject that is close to our heart. Even you yourself, if you have a subject to discuss, bring it. This is your home. Let's definitely get talking. And also, Empress Sadia and Empress Dicta, I believe that you will link up, behind the scenes and have a connection going, and yes. We will all take it from the last words, 30 seconds, because we really are 17 minutes above the time right now. 30 seconds, Empress Dicta first, last words.
Yeah, what I would like to say is we the Rastas should come together and fight what is right for us. Then maybe we should fight what is right, so our children will not suffer. Maybe tomorrow coming. That's all I can see for now.
Absolutely, and give thanks, Empress Dicta. Empress Sadia, last words.
Empress Dicta, nice to have you here, and we will link up. My last words was Tracy, thank you for even opening up this forum for this dialogue, and. It's a great honor to be a Rasta woman. I've been trotting this since I was 17, and now I'm 51. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's been
wow.
A very pretty 51.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Empress.
Yes, nice meeting you.
We can link up now after this program.
No problem. I watched videos of Emperor Haile Selassie travel throughout the world. And Emperor Haile Selassie was the first black man to sleep in the White House. Emperor Haile Selassie was very loved by American presidents. Yes. I mean, when he came here, the whole country came out in motorcades and it was like the coming of Jesus Christ, to be honest with you. So Rastafari is a very great and beautiful journey to trod. And that's the same way I, as a Rasta woman, have experienced. Give thanks. Yeah.
We give thanks to our Empresses. Empress Safinaj, who had to leave to go attend to some business. Blessed love, we thank you so much for your insight. Empress Dicta, thank you so much for your contribution and your insight. And finally, Empress Sadia, thank you very much for coming on Groundation on a sabbatical morning on Radio Culture. Thank you very much. Until next time, my name is Ja Beloved. I'm out of the studio right now. I'm leaving you with one more Papa Wasti. Oye Oba.
Original Papa Wasti. Time and income, and for before Mono, you be me about. Why you born in boy, time and inca, Yancy Muno, Conson of Boyina. As in it, a man for Munya Sam down and so my binti Omuka. Yabo tre, nothing no I say. And in you in someone would be a radar. Manuado, not the Geneso. I feel so many who say who pronounce Pusia. For your band said to the Biana no Bayadin, as I say, which one is there? We are Bema, Ben finding him, yes, punch him bad. And Mubonu Pupo when you are mad. Ben finding him, yes, he said, oh, mad. It's yet, yes, when you play him like that. If you say, what you're Reggae Reverbs on Radio Culture. Reggae Reverbs on Radio Culture. Up to the time. Badding.